People read you constantly. They read your face, your tone, your posture. They're not doing it because they admire you. They're doing it because they want to understand your patterns. What makes you tense? What makes you nervous? What makes you eager? What makes you react? Most people don't study your strengths. They study your weaknesses. They look for moments when your voice shakes. They look for hesitation before you answer. They look for the slight guilt in your expression when you feel pressured. And the moment they see softness, they adjust their behavior and test you a little more. The truth is simple. The world doesn't operate on fairness. It operates on psychological leverage. Some people use friendliness as leverage. Some use confusion. Some use guilt. Some use charm. But the mechanism is always the same. They want to see how easily you can be moved. Readable people are easy to move. Unreadable people are not. And that's exactly why you're here. Becoming unreadable doesn't mean being cold or emotionless. It means controlling the flow of emotional information you give to others. It means holding your internal world steady while everyone around you tries to figure out what's going on inside you. It means becoming someone people can't calculate easily. Unreadable people are taken more seriously. Unreadable people are treated with caution. Unreadable people naturally hold psychological power without asking for it. This script will show you how to build that presence step by step using simple, clean psychological tactics anyone can learn. Let's begin with the first foundation. 1. Why people try to read you. Humans are observers by nature. Every conversation is an emotional exchange, and every reaction you give becomes a clue. People try to understand what you fear, what you secretly want, what you can't walk away from, what makes you angry, what makes you insecure, what makes you bend your boundaries. Once they know these things, they gain influence. Not always intentionally, but influence is influence. Readable people give away this information instantly. They talk too much. They explain themselves too fast. They react before thinking. They share their emotions openly with people who haven't earned access to them. Unreadable people don't do that. Unreadable people keep emotional information private. They don't rush to explain. They don't overshare. They don't reveal fear when they feel fear. They don't reveal frustration when they feel frustration. Unreadable people make others guess. This guessing creates psychological distance, and distance creates respect. You don't have to intimidate anyone. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to dominate a room. All you have to do is refuse to be predictable. 2. Slow reactions. The first layer of becoming unreadable. Fast reactions reveal everything. Someone asks a personal question. You answer immediately. Someone makes a comment that triggers you. You defend yourself immediately. Someone pressures you. You give them what they want immediately. Fast reactions make you transparent. Manipulators love transparent people. Unreadable people don't react fast. They build a tiny moment of space between stimulus and response. When you pause before answering, several things happen. 1. You control the pace. The person talking to you expects a rhythm. When you break that rhythm, you take control of the interaction. 2. You force them to reveal more. Silence makes people uncomfortable, especially manipulative people. So they fill the silence with more talk, more emotion, more revealing. 3. You appear more confident. Confident people don't rush. Confident people think and then speak. A simple 2-second pause before responding changes your presence instantly. Someone asks you, "Why didn't you respond earlier?" You pause, then say calmly, "I was thinking." Someone pressures you, "I need an answer right now." You pause, then say, "I'll answer when I'm ready." Slow reactions make you unreadable because they disconnect your internal feelings from your external behavior. No one knows if you're annoyed, calm, confused, or unbothered, and that uncertainty gives you leverage. 3. The mirror technique. Give nothing extra. Manipulators depend on emotional reactions. They expect you to defend yourself, explain yourself, or get upset. The mirror technique removes all of that. Here's how it works. If someone tries to confuse you, you stay calm and ask, "What do you mean by that?" If someone tries to pressure you, you respond with, "Why is that important to you?" If someone uses fake kindness, you mirror their tone, but don't deepen the emotional connection. You give them nothing new to work with. You reflect the energy back instead of absorbing it. This technique dismantles manipulation because they expect emotional cooperation. They expect explanation. They expect defensiveness. But you give logic, simplicity, and calmness. You become unpredictable. You become harder to influence. You become someone they can easily manipulate. Unreadable people use the mirror technique naturally, not to attack, but to stay centered. 4. The emotion freeze. When calmness becomes a shield. One of the strongest traits of unreadable people is emotional stillness. Not emotional numbness, emotional discipline. Manipulators watch your micro reactions. They watch your eyebrows, your breathing, your voice cracks, your nervous laugh, your need to defend yourself. They look for emotional openings, but emotional openings only appear if you broadcast your feelings. Unreadable people don't broadcast. They stay calm externally, even when they feel something internally. Here's what emotion freeze looks like. Someone mocks you. As a joke, you don't laugh, you don't defend. You just let the moment die. Someone tries to guilt you. You don't explain your whole life story. You say, not today. Someone tries to provoke you. You don't raise your voice. You say nothing. Or you say, all right. Emotion freeze scares manipulators because it removes their feedback loop. They don't know if you're hurt, angry, confused, or unaffected. They lose the ability to track your emotional state. When they can't track your emotions, they can't steer them. And when they can't steer them, they lose psychological control. Emotional steadiness is not about hiding feelings. It's about refusing to give people emotional access they didn't earn. Unreadable people give emotional access slowly, selectively, intentionally. 5. Control validation. The reward reversal. Most people don't realize how easily their self-worth can be used against them. Manipulators use two simple tools: praise, guilt. If praise works on you, they flatter you to control you. If guilt works on you, they guilt trip you to control you. Readable people crumble under both. Unreadable people do this instead. When someone gives you excessive praise, you stay neutral. Not rude, not cold, just emotionally steady. Thank you. Then you continue with your original energy. No excitement, no visible ego boost, no instant softness. This signals that your self-worth is internal, not something handed to you by strangers. When someone uses guilt, you don't defend yourself. If they say, after everything I've done for you, or you can't do this one thing, unreadable people stay calm and say, no, or not today, or that doesn't work for me. No explanations, no justifications, no emotional vulnerability. When you stop reacting to praise and guilt, the entire manipulation structure collapses. Validation becomes your tool. People start adjusting to your energy. People start being careful with your boundaries. People start seeking your approval instead of the other way around. Controlling validation might be the simplest way to control a room without ever raising your voice. 6. Ambiguity. When you say less, people reveal more. Readable people explain everything: where they were, why they didn't respond earlier, what they're thinking, what they plan to do next. Their entire emotional world is open on the table. Manipulators love this. It gives them data. Unreadable people use a different tactic: intentional ambiguity, not vagueness out of confusion, vagueness out of control. Here's how ambiguity works. When someone asks, "What are you thinking?" you say, "Just considering some things." When someone asks, "What do you want from this?" you say, "I'll know when I see it." When someone asks, "Are you upset?" you say, "I'm processing." When someone presses, "Why didn't you text back?" you say, "I was busy." Short, clear, minimal. This does two things. 1. It protects your internal world. People can't use information you never gave them. 2. It makes others reveal themselves. When you reveal less, people instinctively reveal more. They fill silence with their own fears, their own motives, their own insecurities. Ambiguity is not about mystery for the sake of mystery. It's about never giving people the emotional coordinates they need to control you. Unreadable people don't let others map their mind. 7. The silent exit threat. The power of being willing to walk away. People only manipulate those who are afraid to leave. If someone believes you won't walk away, they think they own your reactions. They think they own your emotional stability. They think they can push as hard as they want. Unreadable people remove this completely. They carry a quiet message in everything they do. I'm here because I choose to be, not because I can't leave. The exit threat is not verbal. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's a psychological presence created through behavior. You don't answer instantly. Your time is your own. You don't cling when someone pulls away. You stay balanced. You don't explain your decisions excessively. You trust yourself. You don't fear losing people. You know your life continues with or without them. You don't rely on external validation. Your emotional center is internal. When people sense that you can walk away, and will if disrespected, they treat you differently. They become more careful, more respectful, more stable. Detachment is not coldness. Detachment is strength. It communicates the most powerful message in psychology. You cannot control someone who is not afraid to lose you. Unreadable people don't use threats. Their presence is the threat. 8. Playing dumb. The softest but deadliest strategy. Most people think power comes from showing how much you know. Unreadable people understand the opposite. Sometimes the strongest move is acting like you don't see the game, even when you see every piece on the board. Playing dumb is not stupidity. It's strategic patience. A manipulator tests you with a small insult. You don't react. You let it slide past you like air. They ask a leading question designed to trap you. You give a simple, boring answer that reveals nothing. They try to trigger your ego. You act like you didn't even notice the implication. Why does this work? Because manipulators expect resistance. They expect you to defend yourself. They expect you to show your emotional cards. When you don't, they grow overconfident. Overconfidence makes people sloppy. They start revealing their motives more clearly. They push harder. They make mistakes. They expose themselves without realizing it. Playing dumb is psychological aikido. You let the opponent walk deeper into their own illusion. And then, when the moment is right, you end the game with one quiet decision. You pull back. You withdraw access. You say no. You show the evidence you've collected. You step out of the dynamic without emotion. They never saw it coming. Because you didn't fight them, you dissolved them. Unreadable people don't rush to prove they're aware. Awareness used correctly is a trap, not a weapon. 9. The final evolution. Becoming an unreadable presence. Becoming unreadable is not about pretending. It's not about acting emotionless. It's not about being distant or mysterious on purpose. Being unreadable means one thing. People can no longer predict how you feel, what you want, or what will move you. And because they can't predict you, they can't control you. Let's look at what you become once you master all the earlier tactics. You become a person who reacts slowly. You think before you speak. You don't get pulled into emotional tempo. You control the pace of every conversation. This alone makes people cautious around you. You become emotionally steady, not numb, just disciplined. Your face stops giving away instant information. Your voice stays level. Your posture stays calm. People can't read your emotional temperature anymore. You reveal less. Your inner world becomes private. Your goals aren't constantly announced. Your insecurities aren't visible. Your fears aren't accessible. People only see what you choose to show. You use silence. You let people talk. You let them reveal themselves. You let them expose their insecurities while you remain centered. Silence becomes one of your strongest tools. You stop chasing validation. Praise doesn't sway you. Guilt doesn't move you. Approval doesn't guide you. Your value comes from within. You carry the silent threat of leaving, not dramatically, not emotionally, just a quiet truth. I'm here by choice, not by dependence. People respect those who can walk away. You become difficult to manipulate, not because you fight manipulation, but because manipulators can no longer calculate you. Readable people are predictable. Predictable people are exploitable. Unreadable people stand in a different category entirely. They don't get pushed. They don't get guilted. They don't get controlled. They don't get flustered. They don't get exposed. They become a psychological shadow, always present, always calm, always controlled, but impossible to steer. This is what makes unreadable people powerful without ever raising their voice. 10. The person you become. When you master slow reactions, calm emotions, mirror tactics, ambiguity, validation control, detachment, and strategic patience, you stop being seen as someone who can be manipulated. Instead, you become someone people second guess, someone people respect automatically, someone people don't want to disappoint, someone people don't test twice, someone people speak more carefully around, someone people cannot read, predict, or pin down. Most people fear what they cannot understand. They fear what they cannot predict. They fear what they cannot move. Unreadable people make others feel that fear, softly, subtly, quietly, without ever being aggressive. That's what quiet power is. Not dominance, not control, not intimidation. Just the presence of someone who cannot be moved emotionally and cannot be understood completely. Someone who stands on their own psychological ground. Someone who sees everything, reacts to nothing too quickly, and chooses every move with intention. That person is untouchable. That person is unreadable. That person is you.